Do-do-do-do. 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 Hey! This is going to seem, on a few attributes, slightly hypocritical, but I follow most of these most of the time. I'm obviously fat now because, I sit behind the computer way too much. Even though I was outside gardening, I am like so worn out. I was outside, well, not gardening. I was doing yard work and cleaning up the back porch, which was a horrible mess. I got 6 hours of really good exercise today. Still fat though, obviously. Stuff that I do, and I used to do all of these. I do still do most of them actually. Unfortunately, I buy like styrofoam food at the grocery store. Unfortunately, yeah, up here in Kentucky, it's harder to get the good stuff. The reason why I don't live in Florida, by the way, anymore, I may move back there, but the rainy season really pisses me off. I can't stand rain, and it rains nonstop, like from May till October in South Florida. And it is really disgusting. It really bums me out. It's just like so humid. You like wake up stuck to your bed sheets. You can't get the humidity out of your house. Anyway, these are secrets to living a more simple life. And other than actually having a few too many computers and a few too many cameras, believe it or not, I actually do lead a simple life. If you think I don't, you never met me. You really don't know the answer to that. So I got like one titanium fork and spoon and bowl that I've used every day without question. Sure you do, because you're fat. You're always using them, right? Every day without question for the past 15, 20 years. I don't need a bunch of silverware. If you can simplify your life, I mean, there's so many different steps. I'm on the eBay all the time. Perfect example is a can opener. Of course, we don't really need can openers anymore, but we still do on some stuff. Is that my mother came down to visit me once in Florida, and she saw these old 1960s can openers, the big heavy bastards, and she threw them away, and she got me a brand new one. I was like, God, why did you do that? That new one like broke in like under a month. It was just cheap Chinese crap. Okay, so I had to go on eBay and literally buy two antique can openers to replace the ones that she threw away. The point is that if you can, above all else, buy stuff that's going to last you for the rest of your life, you're so much better off. I get tired of garbage that you have to replace all the time, like iPhones and, like the guts of the inside of a toilet, the little pump nonsense inside of the toilet. Like, it's just cheap Chinese crap. And it'll like last a year or two and you got to buy a replacement. It's like when I lived in Russia and various old houses, there'd be like some of these toilets, for example, the guts are like 100 years old. It's like it's good quality ceramic, American-made stuff. My point is that if you can get stuff on eBay, like clothing, for example, is far better to have like 10 or 12 good pieces of clothing that are quality and last instead of like a big pile of cheap crap clothing that doesn't last that long. I wear like cargo shorts. They're like the Polo Ralph Lauren, the old ones. I get most of my clothing, about 70% of my clothing, believe it or not, I'll get used off of eBay. I kid you not. I try not to get used shirts off of eBay. Definitely not used underwear. But sorry about that. But like used blue jeans, I'll like buy a really good pair of it's called True Religion blue jeans, or some polo cargo shorts. They basically last forever. I think one of the things that made me the happiest is wanting less, and the only thing that you should want is the stuff that you absolutely need. It's far better, and I'm not a perfect example of this. I am in Florida. In Florida, man, I always hit the farmers markets and get the locally grown stuff. It's kind of harder to do up here. It's not so hard, but it's much easier in Florida. Is to buy the best food from local farmers. Plastic food with no nutrients is grown in the same fields that have no nutrients in them year after year after year. These plastic wiffle ball tomatoes and this tasteless crap. It's not good for you. It doesn't taste good. I know it's cheaper. Like when I lived in Emeryville, which is East Bay in San Francisco with my wife, it was like impossible to find a real grocery store. It's just impossible. They just don't exist. I mean, we had Trader Joe's. The place was always packed. You know, that's good and all, but it was impossible to get real food. People were like, oh, San Francisco. I was not impressed with that place, by the way. Everybody said, oh, yeah, the restaurants are so great. My wife loved dragging me to restaurants. I hate restaurants. We went to all these famous restaurants in San Francisco, and there wasn't a single one of them that impressed me at all. It was just crap. I don't know why everybody kept saying the food was so great. Oh, man, San Francisco is awesome. It's like, no, it's not. The food sucked. We went to some really expensive places. I wasn't impressed by any of that crap. You can get way better food like from mom and pops, like out in the boonies here in Kentucky, than you ever could have got in San Francisco, East Bay, anywhere there. People just have no idea what they're talking about. Oh yeah, this is great. It's like compared to what? My entire life, I never thought I would pay for water, but I drink Gerolsteiner all the time now. I don't care what you drink, but I never thought I would pay for bottled water. But I actually pay for good quality water. And I'm a real penny pincher. I think everybody should have a safe space from the world that's free from gadgets. I think every house in the future, because of 5G and Wi-Fi and cellular, every house, like a feature of all new houses built, I think it would be a perfect business for me to start, like go into full time. It's just creating Faraday cage rooms. Like you clear out a room, we line the walls underneath. We line the walls with copper mesh Faraday cage, like fine mesh copper for make a room a Faraday cage. You can still have a coax internet feed into the room, but like Wi-Fi and 5G and stuff won't get in. And what you would do, since nobody would want to live inside of a room covered in copper, it would look really hideous, is that you put drywall over top of the copper. I should set up a business. It's a perfect idea, by the way. I'm surprised I'm telling everybody this. I thought about setting up a business of installing Faraday cage rooms in people's houses. So a lot of people are susceptible to this stuff. It's not like in their head. It's actually real. Like a safe space in the world. I think people, and I'm not talking about social isolation, but limiting your accessibility from the outside world just for your own health's sake, because there's so many psychic vampires, and I don't mean they're literally vampires, it's psychic. Just people that will drain the hell out of you. It's like every morning when I wake up, there's like 100 emails trying to spam me, scam me, shaft me, and screw me. It's like delete, 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 delete. I spend like 10 minutes deleting crap emails from scammers and piss ants and knuckle dragging piss ants. Just unbelievable. We just, I'm stressed out. I got PTSD, taking care of my wife for 10 years, dying of cancer. I have a low tolerance for BS. I'm not an angry person. I just have a low tolerance for BS. And there is more BS out in the world now than there ever has been. I mean, it is just unbelievable, the amount of BS. Don't go into debt. I'm so much happier now. It's like, I don't need that crap. I don't need to go into debt. Do it yourself. I have all these stuff about building it yourself or fixing it yourself. It's like, that doesn't interest people. Those are the best skills in life to have. Like, I can fix it myself. I can build it myself. I just go down to Lowe's or Home Depot and buy a few little dinky things, and I can make it myself. Well, you're sitting there watching TV, scratching your butt. Why don't you build something that you want? I mean, I do leather work. I make my own light mods. I do all sorts of stuff. Why don't you have some of those skills? You should. Well, I'm too busy. I got a wife and kids and a job and 2 jobs. Everybody should have, not talking about a hobby necessarily, which is good to distract your mind, but, while you're entertaining yourself watching reruns of Seinfeld or whatever the hell it is you watch, why don't you do something constructive? It's like, you can watch Seinfeld and, like, build something, It's good to have, like, a table with a TV. You want to watch TV? Fine, but why don't you do something while you're watching it? I'm always doing stuff like that. I don't watch that much TV because I don't have any time. Really important, buy indestructible tools. There's no tool that's indestructible, but there's some a lot better than others. I get used tools that were like made in the 50s and 60s off of eBay. Those suckers are made so well. It was made with pride in the USA. It wasn't made in in a sweatshop in Hunan province. No offense, but I want something that's built to last. If I buy something, I want it to be one. If I can get away with it, I mean, you can't like buy one roll of toilet paper and have it last forever like the everlasting gobstopper from Willy Wonka, but there's a lot of crap that you could only buy one of. And I always was like, I really need this, or I desperately want it because I can use it for this or this or that. It's like, I just want to buy one of them. That'd be it. Obviously, you can't do that with computers because 4 or 5, 6 years later, they turn into crusty turd muffins. You got to upgrade. I know that. I know you can't do it with that stuff. But I mean, every one of you out there can prune down your life. It's like, I don't need that crap. I don't need that crap. I don't need that crap. Just tone it down to stuff you actually need. What the hell is wrong with buying used from a reputable seller? Something that's seller that's gonna last basically a durable eternity, i.e., the rest of your life. Buy high quality used clothing. I don't know if you ever got this place called Plato's Closet. It's usually a place for young punks. They trade in clothing there. I'll go there and like shop for used clothing. I shop for used clothing if I know what the hell it is on eBay. Hell, the more worn out blue jeans look, the more cool they look. So, I mean, who gives a damn if the blue jeans look worn out? As long as they're cool and, you saved a crap load of money, because, like, the blue jeans that I like are pretty expensive. So that's why I buy them used for, like, $20 on eBay. There's just no need to be buying 80% of the crap you buy. And, I should prune down and only have one car because I really don't, obviously I don't need 2 cars, obviously. It's like the only luxury I got in life other than a few cameras is like a second car. But that second car was a gift and it is a lot of fun to drive around in. So sorry. These are the secrets to leading a simpler life. Buy the most expensive food. By the way, like, I hate Whole Foods because Whole Foods sucks. It's run by a bunch of snobs. But they got this spaghetti sauce there. It's called Hoboken Farms. And that stuff is $8 a jar. It's like, man, this stuff better be good for $8 a jar. It's really, really good. It's worth every bit of $8. Oh, man, that stuff is good. Whoa. I'm addicted to that stuff now. It's only got like 4 ingredients. Or 5, if you count the spices. Yeah, it's really expensive spaghetti sauce or pasta sauce. But stuff like that is better for you. I've been guilty. I mean, I know I'm fat and out of shape, and I don't drink or smoke or do drugs, but I know I'm unhealthy because of my weight and stress levels, but I still adhere to like 90% of this on my list. I really do. So, why don't you think about the stuff that you could prune down? Because my life is happier. I'm actually stressed out and miserable a lot of the time, actually. But I mean, compared to what it was, it's a lot better because I made life simpler. I only buy stuff like the titanium fork and spoon that I bought. It's like I will never need another piece of silverware. I only have 2, a fork and a spoon. They're titanium. Well, basically, by the way, I'm a huge advocate of titanium. Like, buy a titanium drinking cup. Yeah, it's made by Snow Peak. Yeah, last you for the rest of your life. You only ever need one. It's antibacterial. It's super, super, super lightweight. Titanium straw. There's another great one. I got some titanium straws. I give them away as gifts. You'll only ever need one of them. And it's not about saving the environment. Not that I'm against that, but it's so cool. You just have one straw. That's all you'll ever need. It's just one. And you won't have to throw it away. You won't have to look for another straw. Man, think of the trillions of straws. Just everybody should have bought one titanium straw. That's my philosophy, is like titanium and indestructible tools made in the 60s in the USA. A few other things that are like that, like old 1960s can openers. Indestructible beasts. Man, it just makes life better. I don't like buying cheap crap made out of plastic And China, nothing against China. Not much anyway. I just don't want to buy that garbage because you know it's going to break and you're going to have to replace it. You know, it's like how when you buy it, you go like, it's brand new. It's like, I wonder how long this piece of crap's going to last. You know what I'm saying is true. I just felt compelled to make this video. Go ahead and hate me if you want to. You know, it's all right. Thank you. Bye.